Hey everybody, welcome to Vlognica Day 4. We're halfway through, congrats. Well done everybody. I'm not filming these in order and I'm filming them way in advance, so I'm not halfway through, but you are. Congratulations. Today I wanted to do a current favourites video. It is winter, so these are some of my winter favourites. Are they related to winter? Actually some of them are. Some of them are. So as always, let's start with books. Specifically, one book that I listened to the audiobook of. It's A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. It is the sequel, number 2 in the Wayfarer series from The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, which I have talked about so much. But yeah, I recently listened to book 2 and I really enjoyed it. Not as much as The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. God, these book titles are long. But it wasn't what I was expecting. I kind of thought that we would revisit the Wayfarer and all of those characters, but actually it's a character that we met in book 1, but then we kind of like get her whole spiel, and the book is all about her and an AI. Multiple AIs are involved actually. And rather than the book being told from like several perspectives like the first book, it's just told from 2. So the AI's perspective, who has just found herself in a body kit and is newly navigating the world as an illegal entity, because in this universe AIs aren't allowed to like pretend to be a species, pretend to be not just human. You can get a body kit for all different species, but this one is specifically a human body kit. So you get her perspective, and her friend who's like helping her navigate the world is Pepper, but you get Pepper's perspective from when she was younger and how she came to be Pepper. But yes, I really enjoyed it as a sequel, and like, is there a third one? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into that, because I'm like, then what? What's the next story, if there is one? I really love this universe that she built and all of the different species. There's an Alien character in this book who you get to know, and one of the things with the Alien species is like how their genders work, and I honestly can't remember, but the character that we meet, their gender or their sex, I'm not entirely sure, changes, and so the pronouns for this character like change constantly throughout the book, from like he, she, they, and so that's kind of cool because I don't know, I think it's just good to kind of like get used to mixing up pronouns and like just having that part of our language and like normalizing it. I actually have a whole bunch of TV favorites, a whole bunch. The first one is Taskmaster, and not just the newest season that is out, season 10, but all of Taskmaster. I never watched it before. Like, I would see all of the adverts for it when it was on Dave, but like I got into my head that like Dave was for men. I was like, I don't relate. This is not for me. It's for lads. And I was like, I'm not a lad. This is not going to be my humor at all. I judged it. I misjudged it. Because then, before season 10 came out, Dan and I just started watching season 9, and then we've just been going through each season like backwards, and now we're on season 2, so we only have 2 seasons left and then we'll have caught up on it all. Yeah, Taskmaster is just like all we watch at the moment, and honestly I love it. It is my sense of humor. I love playful, childish, ridiculous activities, and we're always watching it being like, oh, what would you do? Or like, I'd do this, or like like when it comes to all of the tasks. I love it. It tickles me. My second TV favorite is The Mandalorian season 2. I absolutely love The Mandalorian. I just think it is beautiful. It also has a very cute baby Yoda, the child, if you will. And I just go all gooey and cooey whenever baby Yoda is on screen. I'm just like, oh, baby Yoda. But also I really enjoy that even though there is like an overarching plot, like, you know, our characters have to get from like point A to point B, but each episode works as a standalone because there's like the resolution of whatever is happening in that episode, and I really enjoy that. It kind of reminds me of like Doctor Who in the way that each episode was its own adventure, but obviously there's still like overarching themes and plots and things that like come back, but each one is its own thing. Also, they really leaned into the whole space western, space cowboys thing, especially in that first episode. I was actually cackling because I was like, they know what they're doing. They're really playing into it. And then my final TV favourite is His Dark Materials. I just love it so much. Honestly, I hope that they do more than 3 series. I hope that they don't do like a series per book. I want them to like drag it out. I want them to like build on things, and I want them to like create more. Honestly, it's so good, and I haven't been this excited about characters and about a fantasy world since like Game of Thrones. Yes, I've been missing some good TV fantasy in my life, and it is hitting the spot. Next up, we have some film favorites, and these are old films, but I had never watched them before, and Dan has constantly been trying to get me to watch them, and I've just been like, oh no, I'm too scared, like it's gonna be really scary because they're horror films. But I actually don't think they're horror films. I think they're more like thriller action films. Anyway, it's Alien and Aliens. We watched them back to back, and I thoroughly enjoyed them. I was maybe a little bit scared. I was just enjoying 1970s movie magic. I can't believe I got into 28 and never seen Alien or Aliens. People have said just stop there, don't bother with the rest, and I'm happy to unless I'm really bored one day. I preferred the first one just because the second one did very much just feel like the first one in terms of all of the plot points and the beats and then how they defeat the alien. It was like they couldn't think of anything else, and I'm like, was this done on purpose as a nod to the first one, or were they just lazy and couldn't think of anything else? Like the countdown, you gotta get out of there on time, like yay, we're free. Oh no, the alien's stowed away. Oh, how are we gonna actually defeat it? I know, airlock. That's just exactly the same thing. So that's why I enjoyed the first one a bit better, because it just like felt more original. It felt more new, whereas I was watching the second one just being like, oh, okay, is this like a comedy satire now? But I'm glad I watched them. Next up, I have a podcast favourite, and it is the reboot of Witch Please. I feel like everyone has their Harry Potter podcast. This one is mine. I honestly don't have time to dip into other ones like the Harry Potter and the Sacred Text. I've heard great things about that one as well, but Witch Please is near and dear to my heart, and they've recently rebooted it, and they're going back through all of the books, and rather than just one podcast episode per book, they're doing several episodes per book and tackling different themes. So I've just finished listening to the episodes about book 1, and they covered the Chosen One narratives, Orientalism, animal theory, class theory, trauma theory, and lots of other stuff just like in and around those topics. I love the idea of taking critical theory and being like, if we apply this to Harry Potter, what can we, one, learn about ourselves, but also what can we learn about the books and what can we learn about the wizarding world? And the two hosts very much acknowledge the harm that J.K. Rowling has done and is doing to the trans community, especially trans people who grew up with Harry Potter, who love Harry Potter. So if you want to find a way to still engage with this thing that you really love, but without supporting J.K. Rowling, things like podcasts that discuss it, that like take a social justice lens to it, could be really good. Obviously, like, fan fiction is huge. But yeah, I feel like a lot of Harry Potter fans are like, how do I engage and relate to this thing that I really love when the author is transphobic? And a lot of folks are finding different ways to do that and feeling connected to it, but without supporting her. So if podcasts are your thing and that's something that you're looking for, would recommend Witch Please. I have an app favourite, and honestly, this app has been a game changer for me. Game changer. So for a really long time now, I have never received Instagram notifications to my phone, like push notifications. I turned that shit off like maybe a year, 2 years ago, who knows. I just didn't need to get the push notifications of like, your friend likes your photo and like, I was just like, no. I just switched it all off because I often open the app, and so I'll just see stuff when I open the app. So I don't need like my phone to be like, bing, 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 bing. But one of the downsides of that is that sometimes I would have like DM conversations with friends on Instagram, and so I wouldn't get notifications for those, so I would like miss stuff. And for a while I was just like, that's fine, I'll just put up with it. It is the price that I will pay for not receiving constant Instagram notifications. But then I discovered this app called Threads, and it's an Instagram, Facebook owned app. So it's connected with Instagram, and it's basically for DMs only, but it's for close friends only. So I kind of see it as the Facebook Messenger app of Instagram. So you have a separate Instagram app and then Threads as a messenger account. And it basically takes your close friends list. So all you can see is your primary inbox, and the only thing that you get notifications for, although you might be able to change it, but I customized it so I only get notifications from my close friends. And honestly, it's so good. I was like, this is what I need, because I can feel connected to my friends, and I can like DM people back and forth, and I can have a good time and like connect with the people that I care about. But I'm not in the Instagram app. I'm then not like getting distracted by everything else that is going on the Instagram app. And then I don't like fall down a scrolling spiral. It's literally just messages with people who I love. So my next category is games, and my favorite for this is the Nintendo Switch Ring Fit. Oh boy, it's an exercise game. I love it. We got a Nintendo Switch during lockdown number 1, and I heard about the Ring Fit, which is like an exercise game for the Switch, but it wasn't available anywhere. In the same way that you just couldn't get a Switch, we miraculously found a Switch. But then at the beginning of lockdown 2, and because it was darker and I wasn't really going on any runs outside anymore, I was like, I need to get that Ring Fit. And it was available on Argos, and I was like genuinely surprised. So I got myself a Ring Fit. This bit straps around your leg, and then this bit is you do stuff with. I genuinely love this game. They've fully gamified exercise for me in a way that like maybe isn't great, because I can get addicted to games, but when I just like want to be like, oh, next one, like keep going, because I'm like having so much fun, but my body is just like, Hannah, stop. But this thing has genuinely kept my mood up during lockdown 2, because I've been able to like be physical and be active and like move my body even on days where I don't leave the house because I'm like working, and then it gets to like 4 o'clock and it's pitch black outside. I'm like, oh, well now I don't want to go outside. And also there's nothing to do outside. So yeah, this is a big fave, and it genuinely has helped with the mindset shift of not I have to exercise, but oh, I get to exercise, and I love that. And now onto some miscellaneous stuff, because I don't have proper categories for things. You may have seen in my video where I decluttered a bunch of my canvas bags and I found this back massager. Well, it has become a favorite. I just keep it in the office, I plug it in under my desk, and I just put it on my back, and honestly, it is glorious. It has 2 settings. I think the intensity of the movement of like the balls is the same, just on one of the settings, it heats up. And it's so lovely and warm, and honestly, it's so good. It's Dan's, and he's never really used it, and now I'm claiming it for myself. I love it so much. I miss massages. I love getting massages. I just want strangers to like touch my body in a professional, pleasing way. This favorite is really basic, but honestly, I've had a realization. I'm not the person that I thought I was. I judged people who liked candles. I didn't get it. I was like, why are you spending all of that money? Okay, that I'm struggling to understand is like how expensive candles are. But I never understood it. I never cared. I was like, why are people, up in arms? Why are people so excited by candles? I don't understand. But somehow over the years, I'd acquired some candles. I think like as from presents from people, or like maybe in goodie bags, or I've no idea. So I've had 3 different like scented candles that I've had for ages that had just been sitting there. And then also I had these things, which are little like tea light candle holders. Oh look, this one's even got a label still on the back. 99p, looks like it came from a charity shop. These are the other scented candles that I have. This one is Fig Blomus, no idea. This one is from Next, Apricot and Wild Herbs. Also, I don't know if you can see on the inside, but it's literally been sitting on the side for so long that the wax is dusty. Like it's covered in a layer of dust. And then this one is from somewhere, DW Home, I don't know. and it's vanilla bean. Honestly, I don't really care so much about the smells. I tend to like light them all at the same time, so I don't actually know what all the smells are. But I'm trying to remember like what changed, and I honestly think like Dan lit some candles one evening, like he put these in the bedroom and lit them, and I just was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like my body was just like immediately transported into a state of relaxation. And I was just like not expecting that. But I was like, it looks so pretty in here and it smells so nice. And I'm just like zen. And I feel like I should have known this because I'm someone who loves massages. And so obviously like when you go to like a spa or a place with a massage, like often like the lights are really dim. They don't necessarily use candles, but it's that same kind of vibe. So why didn't I ever think that I could recreate a spa kind of vibe at home? So anyway, these now live in the bedroom and occasionally get lit, and I absolutely love it. Sometimes I just light them and lay in bed reading, and I'm just like, this is great. This is amazing. And then these tea light holders, I went to Wilko's and I bought a whole bunch of tea lights. And these are just in our living room. And I light them most evenings and I'm loving life. Honestly, I'm so relaxed. It genuinely changes my mood. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is what people were talking about. This is why people like candles. Why is it taking me this long? It's because I'm such a judgmental bitch. Genuinely, is making the winter much nicer for me. Much nicer. So those are some of my winter favorites. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do let me know in the comments some stuff that you have been enjoying. Are you a candle person, or are you still in the like, I don't get it stage, which is where I was. Maybe it's not a stage, maybe that's just where you're going to be forever, and I respect that, because part of me is still a bit like, maybe I have been brainwashed by advertising, because I've seen people enjoying candles so much online that I've now convinced myself that they're a good thing. But whatever, I'm just gonna enjoy them and be happy. I hope you're well, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 5 of Vlognica. Bye!